continue with our class Kosher Kitchen. On this session, and all of them should be dedicated to Rifash Lemao, dear Rabbi Yaron Roven. His name is Yaron Ben Doris. Also, Yehudis Bas Noch, Ariela Ora Bas Anna, Imi Marasi Rachel Bas Brandel, David Shlomo Ben Sandra. Also, a quick release of Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina, and Aslacha Rabba to our dear friends. Giveres Chana, Bas Abraham Avinu, and the whole family. BeEzrat HaShem. All right. So we continue today with our class Kosher Kitchen, and we're in chapter 19. And now big topic, utensil by utensil. So right. So now next utensil is a broiler. Some ovens have a broiling chamber below the oven chamber. If the broiler is extremely difficult to clean properly, he should be used for either meat or dairy exclusively, and not for both. The meat broiler should not be used to broil fish. One may purchase toaster oven to broil dairy foods or fish. Okay. Many ovens have a broiling element in the oven chamber itself. If necessary, this may be used for both meat and dairy consecutively on a separate broiling pans, provided that the oven is cleaned of any splatter between uses. In addition, one should wait 24 hours and kasher the oven between the meat and dairy uses by heating it on a high setting for approximately 1 hour. See self-cleaning oven with regard to use self-cleaning oven. A broiler pan requires tevilah. If pan is Teflon coated, tevilah should be done without bracha. Okay, so I think we learned about these broilers and stoves long time ago, right? Long time ago. So let's review, and we're going to go sentence by sentence and explain just remind. I think we learn most of this thing before. Okay. So from the beginning, BeEzrat HaShem, we're going to explain. Some ovens have a broiler chamber below the oven chamber. So it's some people don't even know that it is a broiler chamber. They think it is a storage. So you have a stove, right? You have stove top, have an oven, right? And on the bottom under oven, you have this thing that you can pull. So in many ovens, especially old ones. So when we had the old ones, that's what it have. So meaning this broiler is when heat comes from the top, right? In a regular oven, the heat comes from the bottom, but the broiler from the top. Okay, so it's very interesting, right? So so as we said before, it is possible. Is it possible to use the same oven for meat and dairy? It is possible. There is a special procedure that is possible, but the first step, as we said there, is actually to clean it from splatter. But in a broiler, like, it's impossible. I mean, it's possible, of course. You have to go lie on a stomach and see inside and see if there is something. But otherwise, you would not see. Right? It's like literally almost on the ground. Many people use it just for storage. Right? So it's very convenient to store the frying pans and other things. Right? Big pots and others. Okay. But if a person wants to use this broiler for cooking, right? It should be only one, meat or dairy, right? So again, the broiler is extremely difficult to clean properly because it's on the bottom, right? Properly, and should be used for either meat or dairy exclusively, but not for both. I never heard somebody use a broiler for dairy, but I don't know. So we don't cook dairy so much, but. Right, so that's what it is. So again, because it's very hard to clean, and I don't think there is a self-cleaning. Maybe in modern, in modern ovens, the way I understand, like even the not high tech like regular ones, they for past I don't know how many years they combine the broiler and oven together, right? So meaning, so you don't need basically the separate compartment. Then they use the bottom part for storage only. Okay, just 1 second. Okay. Right, so again, because it's hard to clean, so you use for one or another, no problem. A meat broiler should not be used for fish, again, because since it is impossible to clean it. I mean, it's possible, but again, you have to go in your stomach completely on the floor to see if there is a residue and stuff like that. I mean, if it's meat and old meat, there is no problem. But if it's meat and fish, it could be an issue, right? We should not eat meat and fish from the same plate, and needless to say, to cook together. Okay. So broiler are used for one purpose. Okay. One may purchase a toaster oven to broil dairy foods or dish. Or fish, I'm sorry, or fish. So commentators say fish broiled in a dairy toaster oven may not be used during the meat meal, since the broiler is hard to clean properly. Okay, so I mean it's understandable, but let's see before we go to this commentary. So as we say today, all these toaster oven, they're so cheap. I mean, if you want like some smart one, right, that does everything for you, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a much more expensive, but simple one. That I mean, simple one, but pretty reliable, good brand, and you can set the temperature, everything. Like there is no. I mean, they do not cost so much, and it's a perfect solution. So if for storage, so we buy somebody complain, I don't have room in my kitchen. So we say you can make yourself shelves. They sell shelves. Right, you can install shelf like between the lower cabinets and higher cabinets, and that's it. You can store, and you can store one on top of the other, right? And when you need it, just take it down, and that's it. Use it. Right. No problem. Okay. Right. So that's to buy separate this toaster oven is the best. It's a solution if you do fish. Okay, no problem. So many ovens have a broiling element in the oven chamber itself, right? So as we said, I mean today most of them, unless it's very, very cheap model or something. If necessary, this may be used for both meat and dairy consecutively, right? So in the right, but yeah, you can use one stove for meat and dairy, yeah, but you need to kosher it. And how do you kosher it? Here he gives the most strict opinion, and I think we should follow this opinion, right? So what is the opinion? You have to clean it first, let it stay for 24 hours, right, and then kosher it. How do you kosher? You put on the highest temperature possible, whatever it is, or for 1 hour, or if you have self-cleaning cycle, just go through self-cleaning cycle. So I think the way I understand, the self-cleaning cycle is shorter time-wise than 1 hour. Okay. But whatever you have, if you don't have self-cleaning cycle, that's what you do. No problem. Okay. So according to some opinion, just to remind us, some rabbis say if you use the self-cleaning cycle, maybe you don't even need to clean. I mean, if there is piece of meat, of course you have to, piece of something, piece of wood, you have to clean. But otherwise, you don't, because it burns everything in there. Okay, no problem. Okay, so that's what we say. And broiler pan, right? Of course, require tevilah, right? And if a person is going to use it the same oven from meat and dairy, of course, you have to use separate broiler pans. Okay. Right. Tevilah. So if it's Teflon coated, no blessing. Okay. But as I said before, I think all of them coated. They coated with this thing, these layers, in order to be not so the food would not stick to it. Okay. So next one, broom. One may sweep remains of both meat and dairy meals with one broom. Very interesting. we are not concerned that with any mixture of meat and dairy in a broom, since it does not come in contact with food that will be eaten. So very interesting. I mean, I was a little surprised. What broom has to do with anything, right? No problem. So meaning in a sense, if you have crumbs, kids ate whatever they ate, pieces of course under the table, and some other adults ate whatever they ate, some pieces under the table, meat, dairy, no problem. You can broom it, like sweep it, use the same dustpan. There is no problem, because why? Nobody goes to eat from that. Okay. Nobody is going to eat from that. Okay, so there is no problem. And plus, so nobody's going to eat from that, and you're not deriving benefit. So if you have pets, make sure that you throw in the garbage so the pets would not eat it. So that's the thing. Continue. Cabinets. So okay, he's going into alphabetical order. Okay, just so you know. Cabinets. A common custom is to store meat and dairy utensil in a separate cabinets to prevent them from being used for the opposite type. Some have a custom to label their cabinets drawer as meat, right, dairy, so that the guest or household help will not inadvertently mix the dishes and cutlery. So that's, I mean, we have this, bought this a long time ago, this seeds through the stickers. They sell them in the old Judaica store, on the internet also. I mean, you buy one, I'm not sure how many stickers it comes from. You can write down yourself. I mean, you can do whatever you want. But stickers, I think it looks more presentable. All right, it's a red one for milk, for meat, and it says meat, and dairy you have a blue one, no problem. Okay, and shy with this cabinet, shy also, first of all, don't store them together, and try to store it. If you have a little biggish kitchen, maybe one on this side and one on another side. One is the left of the sink, one is the right. So meaning that automatically nobody would make a mistake. Okay. Continue. A can opener. Most can opener are parif. Thus, it is not necessary to keep separate opener for canned foods to be used with meat and foods with eaten with dairy. Okay. However, one who uses the canned meat or canned dairy should use different can opener, right, for each type, since it is difficult to clean the can opener properly. A can opener does not require tevilah. Okay, so meaning why? Because it does not touch food. So can opener, I mean they sell some kind of milk, right, in this metal can. So if you use this kind of milk, right, whatever it's called, a different kind of milk or milk products. So of course you need the separate can opener, as he is saying here, for that, and one for parif, because parif, I don't know, like corn or whatever people use, or it should not be used with meat meal. Okay. Do they sell meat in cans? I don't know. Maybe they do. Okay. I don't know. Okay. I mean, in olden days, yes, but today, do they sell meat in cans? I have not seen. Maybe. Okay. No problem. So so technically, if you don't use this milk like in cans, so there is no problem. You can have only one can opener. Okay, which is good. And plus does not require tevilah because it does not touch food. Okay. Next one, chicken. One who purchases chicken from the kosher supplier cannot assume that the chicken was closely inspected for broken limbs by the shochet or bodek. Nevertheless, one is not required to examine each chicken, since we assume that the chickens are free of blemishes. However, one who notices abnormality should consult a rav. A broken wing or a leg or discolored drumstick may render the chicken treif depending upon the type of the break or discoloration of the meat. Usually these blemishes are merely the result of processing and have no effect on the kashrus of the chicken. One should nevertheless consult Rav. So, especially in olden days, it was very, very big issue. I mean, not big issue, but much more often than today. So today, I learned with someone about this kashrus business, and they're so careful. They don't need even like a remote like issues. Like they just throw to treif, even if they are not treif. You understand? So they do the thousands of the chickens per day. They don't want to risk it and have somebody say, yeah, you know, this kashrus is not reliable. Why? Why don't they sell to non-Jews? That's it. They say it to halal or something. Okay. So again, chicken, right? Chicken. Okay. One who purchased the chicken from a kosher supplier cannot assume the chicken was closely inspected for a broken limbs by shochet. Shochet is the one who does the shchita, right? And bodek is the one who checks later on. So basically, maybe there is one reason they just cut legs. So I mean, you can buy the chicken feet. In all country, it was the cheapest food possible because guess what? There is almost no meat. But in the States, it's it costs a fortune. I'm not sure how does it make sense. I mean, but when you buy whole chicken, when they say whole chicken, so whole chicken comes without feet. Okay, well, the feet is where the problem could be, and wings. I mean, me personally, I have never seen the broken wing. So how do you know it's broken? It changes the color, changes the color. So meaning if it was broken during the chicken lifetime, and plus these people who process the chicken who take out the feathers. I forgot what the process is, and it's actually I saw the machine and how they do it. It's it's not manually. In olden days we did manually, but today no. Today they have this processing machine, right? So and people who responsible for to pluck the feathers, if they see this discoloration, they just don't process the chicken. That's it. They're very, very strict. I mean, right? In kashrus that we use for right, for sure they're very strict. We never ever saw anything remotely concerned. Okay, right? So but he continued. So I mean, you never know. You never know. Right. Nevertheless, one is not required to examine each chicken. So I'm not sure how many chickens per person buys, but from time to time, since we assume that the chicken are free of blemishes, right? However, one who notices any abnormality should consult Rav. So abnormality again, it's a broken limb, right? A broken wing or a leg or discoloration in drumstick. Okay. Wing or leg, right? So usually it's legs, right? When they handle the chicken. So, but you can see when exactly the breakage occurred, after the handle and before the handling. Okay. Apologies. After the shchita or before the shchita. Apologies. Right. That's how. If it's after the shchita, there is no problem whatsoever. The problem only when chicken had this broken wing or a broken leg when it was alive. Right. Okay. So if you have problem, consult with your Rav. Okay. But I think today's many rabbis they do not even know. Old school, yes, but younger one most likely not. Unless they in this business, in a kasher business, yeah, if he deals with that, yeah, he has to pass exam and he has to know how it looks like, all these things. Okay, continue. Chopper. A chopper is equivalent of a knife, right? Thus, one should not use chopper for liver and fresh onions or any sharp food, and subsequently use the chopper to chop eggs and onions to be eaten with dairy foods. Okay, so chopper. Chopper. I mean, today they have a different variation of the choppers, right? But it's it's exactly the same. The idea is exactly the same. It's equivalent to knife, right? Some choppers like you just press and you have cut potatoes in so many pieces, or carrots. Well, looks good, very presentable, save a lot of time. But this thing, it's very sharp, and for sure it's a knife. And the problem about knife, just to remind us, it's like it can absorb the taste, and it's not so easy to get the taste out of the knife. Right, the knife absorbs the taste not from the heat, as we learned about other foods, but utensil, but through the pressure. Right, when you press with a sharp edge, right? So that's the problem with a knife. So meaning what if right, and if a person cuts these sharp foods, as we said, onions is one, garlic and other radishes, all the other sharp foods, right? Meaning, right, and after that he does meat. So this knife become meat knife for how long? Forever. So that's the problem. So meaning, if a person is going to cut onions again and eggs to make it egg salad to eat it with dairy milk, it's a problem. It's forbidden. So because this salad is a meat salad, is it meat? No. Then the knife that was it cut with was a meat knife. Okay, so that's the problem. So it's proper to have this to first study the way I see it, study all of the approaches, or ask Rabbi how I should separate all my utensils. So I will tell you, have a food processor, for example, make it meat food processor. That's it. Very straightforward, very simple, right? And all of the choppers, all of this like graters, choppers, all these other things, so you use for powder foods. That's it. Very simple. And then these powder foods you can use for meat and dairy, for meat soup, right, or dairy, other dishes, no problem. Okay. But don't process knife, right? So again, have to be very careful. Again, chopper is a knife. Next one, chopping bowl. One should not use the wooden chopping bowl for both meat, for example, liver and eggs, and dairy, or foods that are eaten with dairy, or meat and fish, for example, tuna, since it is difficult to clean the bowl properly. I'm not sure what this chopping bowl is. So, but chopping bowl, there is wood. Okay, let's try to understand. One should not use a wooden chopping bowl. Okay, let's say just bowl, right? The wooden. Okay, I'm not sure what chopping has to do with anything. Okay, for both meat, for example, liver and eggs, right? Even though it's cold, right? And dairy food. So meaning what? Meaning what? That wood, it's impossible to kosher wood, right? Because it's porous and right, it's going to retain the taste. Okay, so that was the idea. Okay, right. So should not use this this bowl, wooden bowl, for meat, right, or dairy, or foods that eaten with the dairy, right? Because they used it previously for meat. Okay, or meat and fish, for example, tuna, since it is difficult to clean the bowl properly. Again, because it absorbs the taste, especially it was fatty residue, right? So that's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, so again, it's proper to have 3 sets of dishes. I mean, some people do not listen, and they put themselves in these questionable situations, and they ask why they do not understand Torah. Right? And this is one of the reasons. Why? Because they eat not kosher. So yeah, but they buy only kosher. Yeah, but they mix meat and meat together. So it's not the meat and milk together like per se, but it is like mamish, but because all these like traces. Okay, for sure it's not good. So we have to have separate part of utensils. Right? So a person should think like how many, maybe not so many, maybe these bowls like what they call like mixing bowls. You go to internet, you buy this set of mixing bowls, not expensive. Right, stainless steel, and that's it. And you mark yourself. This is for meat. This is for fish, and this is for dairy. Right, that's it. And this is for parav. Okay, so you buy a set and you set. Okay, mixing bowls. Next one, Chulent Pot. Okay, so Chulent Pot. Okay, so that's interesting. One who must add water to the Chulent Pot on Shabbos should preferably not to pour water directly from the pot of kettle into the Chulent Pot, since the remnant water in the kettle may absorb the meat taste, and initially should not be used for coffee and milk. The water should be first poured into the cup and then into the Chulent. If one did pour water into the Chulent directly from the kettle, right, the water in the kettle is unaffected. One must avoid holding the kettle directly into the steam of the Chulent. So kettle, when I said this, kettle is the one that you put on a gas stove or on this the old style. It's not the water urn that we have today, because it is attached to the outlet. You cannot carry and pour from bread. But in all the days, and some people in some culture, they like to drink tea. So I mean, they have tea a lot. How much tea they drink? A lot, and it's very interesting. And even after they've been away from that culture for several generations, and the new generations, they say, yeah, we like tea. I said, but you're born in the States. Yeah, we like tea. That okay, you drink tea, whatever you want. And they still, HaShem, holy custom, they drink, they put this tea on what is it, on a blech, and tea is keep warm the whole Shabbos, no problem. So you can have as many cups as you want. So and if tea is hot, so you can remove it, actually hold it in your hand. If you need to pour to the cups, even bring it to the table, no problem. But while it's still hot, make sure that you put it back on a blech, right? Or if you need to pour water from this thing into the Chulent, right? Be careful. We're going to explain. So it's when they say kettle, sometimes kettle they mean urn, like a water urn. So it's not that. Okay. One must avoid holding the kettle directly in a steam of the Chulent. Okay, we're going to explain all this. If the hot steam did not reach the kettle, the Rav should be consulted. Did it, right? One should note that the water may not be added to Chulent Pot on Shabbos, unless the Chulent Pot is on a blech and the water is fully cooked and hot. One should consult Rav as to when the water may be added to a crock pot, slow cooker, or whether water from the electric urn may be added to a Chulent Pot on Shabbos. The ceramic insert of the crock pot requires tevilah without the bracha. The metal insert requires tevilah with bracha, if stainless steel. Right. If the metal insert is Teflon coated, tevilah should be done without bracha. So I mean that's very, very interesting. This Chulent pot is right. Many people like Chulent, or they call it maybe different. Maybe Ashkenazim, Hasidim for sure. Sephardim call it some other names. I remember in one of the shul I used to go, we have a Yemenite. So this Yemenite, he brought, I don't know what, some kind of celebration. He brought many dishes, and all of them what very very different from what we used to, right? Even eating Sephardic food, it's what's totally different. And then he explained to us that the main ingredients, so there's no meat. So he explained that all of them are parve, right? They use the different spices, but a lot of flour, because in Yemen the people were very poor. Very interesting. I mean, very interesting taste of these things. So they would also use, and these dishes they cook the whole day, right? I mean, similar to cholent, same idea. Was it on Shabbos? I think he brought it. I mean, he cooked. I mean, he bought it. I'm not sure where he got it from, but we ate it on Shabbos for sure. Okay, so from the beginning, and we try to explain. BeEzrat HaShem. One who must add the water to Chulent Pot on Shabbos, all right, should preferably not pour the water directly from the pot of kettle into Chulent. Okay, so first of all, it takes time, and I always say people, if you're not experienced, so I try to test it on Monday, on Tuesday, on Sunday. Like, why do you need to leave everything for a test on Shabbos? So if it's in you, even you have experience, even you have experience with a slow cooker, and now you bought a new one. The last one lasted for 48 years or something. So now new technology. So don't assume that what you got used to with the old one is going to work the same way in the new one. So you have to test it. Cook few dishes, do a test run on a weekdays and see how much water you need, how much ingredients, this and that, how much you should cook, not cook, how some of them have programming, how the programming works, all these things. So don't assume things. Okay, and people usually, I mean, not usually, sometimes they overestimate themselves, and they pour as water as they think enough. And sometimes, guess what? It's on Friday night. I'm not talking on the Shabbos morning. Forget about Shabbos. On Friday night, they ran out of water. How is it possible? How is it possible? It is possible because they did not set the temperature right, did not pour enough water, compared to other ingredients, all these things, right? Many reasons. So meaning that's proper for all of us to be prepared before Shabbos. So meaning run cook 2 dishes before, on that week. Okay, so don't live on Shabbos, right? But if it already happened after the fact, the whole all water evaporated. So remember, we cannot lower the temperature. That's for sure not. To add water that was completely cooked in this extraordinary situation, right? It would be allowed. Right, so cold water, absolutely not. Cold water is going to be cooked. Tap water, I'm talking tap water. Even the boiled water, but that was cooled down, so not from the kettle that is on the fire, it's absolutely forbidden. Right, at least for Ashkenazim, absolutely forbidden. For Sephardim, maybe it's not forbidden. We will have to double check. I think maybe it's not forbidden, but I'm not 100% sure. But for Ashkenazim, the whole food is going to be forbidden. The whole cholent business, right? Okay. So now, person have a kettle, right? But it says that prefer not to pour water directly from a pot of kettle into cholent pot, right? Since the remaining water in the kettle may absorb the taste. So how? We were talking about this thing as this idea is called irui kli rishon, right? Irui meaning the stream that comes from kli rishon, the primary vessel that was on a source of heat. So now through this stream of water that coming from this kettle, there is direct connection through meat into the water, the remaining water in the kettle. So that's the problem. That's what he's talking about. So it's proper to pour in a cup, if you have meat cup, right? And from this meat cup, already pour into the cholent pot, right? Right. So again, why? Because since the remaining water in a kettle may absorb meat taste, and initially should not be used. Right, and if it did absorb the meat taste, so you should not use this kettle if you want to drink like a cocoa with like hot chocolate or coffee, right, with milk. Regular coffee, there is no problem. So it's not exactly meat. It's not exactly meat, but it's not a part of it either. Okay. As he said initially. So after the fact, no problem, but initially should not. So we have to be mindful of all of these things. Okay. The water should first be poured into a cup and then into the cholent, right? As he said. So if you have cups, some people like to drink chicken soup from the cup. Okay, so this cup is meat cup. Okay, there is no problem. So that would be not only no problem. That would be the best thing to use to pour water from the kettle into the cholent pot. That would be the best. Continue. If one did pour water into the cholent directly from the kettle, the water in the kettle is unaffected. So again, initially, don't do it. But after the fact, it's no problem. So proper way is through a cup. So if you don't have the meat cup, so you do through the disposable cup. Get yourself styrofoam cup. That's it, right? Or some cup, or like even paper cup that can be used for hot liquids. There is no problem. That's it. Right. So one must avoid holding the kettle directly in a steam. So if you go like directly in a steam. So guess what? So the steam, as we said, is a meat, right? In this case, so it's going to reside on the kettle itself. It's a problem. Okay. If the hot steam did reach the kettle, a Rav should be consulted. So he would ask us. I'm telling you what he's going to ask us. How high was the kettle, right? Because we're trying to understand how hot was the steam when it reached the kettle. Was it like already cooled down, right? Or it was like full heat? Okay. One should note that the water may not be added to the cholent pot on Shabbos unless the cholent pot is on a blech. So on a blech, and the water is fully cooked and hot. So fully cooked meaning it boiled before this time. Even if it boiled on Shabbos, there is no problem. So if you like put it on a blech before Shabbos and it was like I don't know, 1/3 ready, let's say, right? No problem. So it can continue like cooking, water also cooking. On Shabbos there is no problem, so you can use this water. Okay. But cold water and even like room temperature you cannot use, at least according to Ashkenazi tradition. Continue. One should just was a Shabbos on the cholent, right? Right. So one should consult Rav as to when the water may be added to a crack pot, slow cooker, and whether the water from okay. So first part, crack pot, slow cooker. Crack pot also it must have blech. So as we explained, I don't know, a long time ago, it's page 489. So in page 100 or something, long time ago. So we said that on the bottom, like you must cover the heating element, right? And we must replace this cover every time, because if you're going to leave this cover, meaning aluminum foil. So I mean, I imagine how it looks like, but we got to say, so aluminum foil. So this is black. This is a reminder to us that we're not cooking, right? So we're not allowed to cook on Shabbos, right? So meaning if there is no such a black, so maybe we would not be allowed to use to add the water into crack pot. When it's in a cholent pot like a regular pot, they call it cholent pot. It's usually like what do they call it? Swedish oven. What is it? Like a cast metal usually, right? Cast iron, like a thick walls usually, right? So this you put it on a blech. Okay. But a crack pot is not. It's not on a blech, so it's a like electric element. So this electric element for sure must be covered. So that's what Rabbi is going to ask you. Or you can be prepared and don't have this issue. Okay, continue. And whenever water from electric urn may be added to a Chulent pot on Shabbos. Again, you can do it through a cup. Through a cup, I'm not sure why would there is a problem. I don't see any problem, right? But the problem is, so when I first saw in my office, like, I forgot, I did not think about it. So I used to take the hot water, right? I make myself tea, right? And they have coffee. At one point, all of the coffee were kosher. All of them, they had a contract with a company. They brought brand new machines, coffee machine. All of the cartridges, whatever they call it, right? All of them were kosher, no problem. But then they changed the supplier, or they changed the machine, and it became not kosher. So I stopped drinking coffee in the office. Very, very simple, straightforward, right? And they had a tea also, this cartridge, beautiful, very delicious tea. Okay, stop. So I started, but they would keep this tea bags. Right? Tea bags also kosher. There is no problem. So I was taking only hot water. So what could be wrong with hot water? A lot. So one morning I saw some people. They would use this hot water for instant soups, right? The soups, and they were not kosher. So whoa. And of course, all of these things evaporation comes to the what is called spigot, right, and make it non-kosher. You understand? Of course, you can try to use it lower, but when I saw it, when I understand what's going on, so it did not occur to me because I never saw anybody use it in this way. So people usually use hot water to make coffee, like instant coffee, or make tea as I did, or some other things, but nobody use it for right. At least I have not seen it before. But when I saw it before, I stopped completely. So that's exactly the same idea as here. Right, same idea as here. So you cannot bring this, let's say, this Chulent pot under the water urn, right? Why? Because the spigot is going to get meaty. Okay. So as we see, the Chulent pot is a lot to say about it. So continue. The ceramic insert the crack pot requires tevilah without bracha. Tevilah for sure, because earthenware, right? It's glass, according to some opinion, right? Because it's layer, but it's glass, not glass. So we with towel without blessing. Okay. Next one. A meat insert requires tevilah. Right, meat inside tevilah with bracha. Right, if it's stainless steel. So more modern they do with the stainless steel. First of all, it's much lighter. This thing, just the insert, the ceramic. Of course, it's preserved. Keep the warmth better. There is no doubt about it for sure. But it's very heavy. It's very heavy, by itself. Needless to say, with full with food. Okay, and it happened not one time when it fell on the floor and broke. Right, because a lady was carrying, or somebody was carrying, and it could not hold it because it's hot, right? With gloves and mittens, not gloves, with mittens, so fell and broke. Okay. Now, but this stainless steel very light, fractions of the weight, and right. It's I think they not everybody, but many companies they switch to stainless steel. Not everybody. Continue. If the meat insert is Teflon coated, the tevilah should be done without bracha. Okay, no problem. So let me quickly check time. All right, so I think it's time to stop. And as you see, it's a lot to learn, and I love this chapter. I love the whole book, but this chapter, he's a genius of this Binyamin Force. So he put everything together that we learn, in different chapters, because we discuss different issue, and he in his wisdom, he put like in a separate paragraphs, like a 3, 4, 5, 10 lines, but it's information that we learn across different chapters. I think that's amazing. Right, so let's do 5 minutes break and we continue after the break. 5 minutes.